Hi guys, it's me Tbsp and today I'm going to show you how to make taiyaki, so let's get started. Okay, so first we're going to make the custard. We will need 2 egg yolks, 65 grams of sugar, 25 grams of flour, red food coloring is optional, vanilla extract, I used about 1.5 cups, but depending on how strong or weak your vanilla extract is, you might need more or less, 15 grams of butter, and 200 ml of milk. The first thing you are going to want to do is set everything aside and separate your eggs. You will need 2 containers, one for egg whites and one for egg yolks. Separating the eggs is very simple. First things first, crack your egg, and then open it. Make sure not to let your egg yolk escape the eggshell. Then rock it back and forth between the eggshells until you only have the egg yolk left and no egg whites. A little egg whites is okay, but try to keep it mostly egg yolk. Do this for both eggs and we are done with that. Now we don't need the egg whites for this recipe, but a good way to use them is to make them into meringues. Meringues are super yummy and really easy to make. It's simply egg whites, sugar, and vanilla or almond extract. I'll put a link down below to A Joy of Baking's easy meringue recipe. Now get your sugar and add the flour. Then mix it up. You can sift it if you like, but I don't because I'm lazy. Now add your egg yolks and mash it up until it gets a Play-Doh-like consistency. At first it's going to seem really runny, but as you mix it, the egg is going to get incorporated into the sugar and you'll have a ball of egg and sugar. Okay, now I've got it all incorporated in, and this is what it's going to look like. This is optional, but to make a thicker and more jello-like consistency, add gelatin powder or gelatin sheets. So get a bowl or container and fill it with cold water. Cold water is very important. Hot water will dissolve the sheets and make your gelatin grainy, and we don't want that. So soak your gelatin sheets in cold water until it's flexible and set it aside. Now it's time to cook the custard. Set your milk on medium heat, then add the vanilla, and then add your butter, and stir until it's melted. This can take anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes, it really depends on your stove. Then add your food coloring. Again, this is optional. I like to add it a little bit by a little bit so I can get the right color. Add the egg-sugar mixture into the milk and stir quickly until it becomes incorporated into the milk. It's important that you mix quickly before the egg mixture gets cooked and makes it all lumpy. After it's all dissolved into the milk, then you can continue to cook on medium heat, but I'm impatient, so I turn up the heat to high and stir very quickly so the bottom doesn't burn. Your custard will start to get thicker and thicker. I'm going to switch to a whisk so this will be faster and make it easier for me. After it gets to the thickness where if you lift it up, it kind of gloops off the whisk instead of being runny like nachos, you take it off the stove and get your gelatin. You want it to be soft and jelly-like. Drain the excess water by squeezing it out. This is what it's going to look like. Now put your custard back on the stove and toss in the gelatin and whisk very quickly so it won't burn. When you add the gelatin to the custard, it will get very runny, but don't worry about it. Once it cools, it will be fine. Once it's nice and smooth, it's done. Then get a bowl and pour your custard in. And put some plastic wrap on the top and toss it in the fridge. I leave it in there for 15 to 30 minutes to cool into a jelly-like form. Now let's get to making the batter. You will need a bowl, 3 eggs, 2.5 tablespoons of flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 3 tablespoons of water. So crack all 3 eggs in the bowl. Then add the water. Then use a whisk to mix it all together. I would suggest using a bigger bowl or a smaller whisk, but since I had neither, this will have to do. After it's mixed well, add the sugar and mix it some more. Lastly, add the flour. Try to be careful not to whisk so fast that the flour goes up in the air like I did. Okay, now get a big bowl and put 1 1/4 cup of flour inside. Then add 1/2 cup of sugar. And lastly, add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Then mix it together. Then add your flour, sugar, water, egg mixture and mix it with a whisk. It's going to become very thick, but once it becomes smoother, then we add a little bit of milk to get a nice smooth consistency. I like to add a little bit at a time so I get the right consistency. Once you get a smooth, pancake-like consistency, it's done. Cover it with plastic wrap and let it sit for about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, while we let that sit, let's talk about the equipment. You will need a taiyaki pan. I'm also using an oil brush I bought from Daiso. You don't really need this, it's just faster to oil up your pan, and it looks really cool. You can use cooking spray or just get a paper towel dipped in oil and wipe the pan. Okay, now we're ready to cook our taiyaki. Our batter has had enough time to rest, and you will see little bubbles on the surface. Get something to scoop your batter with and set the bowl aside. Okay, set your taiyaki pan on low to medium heat. I like to set it to between 4 and 5 to let the pan heat up and then lower the heat to 4. So now I'm going to lightly cover my taiyaki pan with oil. I really only oil at the beginning. If you oil it between every taiyaki, then the taiyaki will get this speckled look, and it's not a very nice even tan. After 5 to 8 minutes, your pan should be nice and hot. Time to add your batter. Remember to lower the heat. I suggest after letting your pan heat up and adding the batter to set it to around 3, and then when you make your second taiyaki to set it to around 4. Make sure you work quickly so that both sides are an even color. After you fill the fish shape, I like to scoop out the excess batter so I can fill it with lots of custard. You can leave it as is, but keep in mind you won't be able to fill it as much, and the batter we put on top will fall on the sides and make a huge mess. Alright, add your custard, then quickly top it off with some more batter. If you take your time, the batter will slip off the custard, and then your custard will stick to the other side of the pan. Once you add the batter on top, flip over the taiyaki and cook the side where you just added the batter. I don't really time my taiyaki, but you can always tell when it's done by the pan lifting up from the batter expanding, and also the rich tan color. I always peek to see if it's done by lifting one side up a little. If it feels like it's sticking, that means it's not completely cooked on that side. So just leave it alone and check it in about a minute or less. I never leave my taiyaki unattended. It's dangerous and it doesn't take very long for it to turn from uncooked to burnt. Okay, our taiyaki is done. Both sides are a beautiful tan color, and if you poke a toothpick on the side, there shouldn't be any raw batter stuck on it. Keep in mind that custard kinda looks like batter, so look closely. I like to break them apart and chip away on the sides. I think I might even use a file to get the sides nice and smooth. These little bits and pieces are really great to eat. They are crispy and sweet. And you have your finished taiyaki. Fishy kisses. Yeah, that's a little weird. Ah, steamy. I wish my camera could capture more of the steam coming out of it. And I'm just gonna nom nom on a little bit of it. It's really good. The custard is nice and warm, and the cake-like outside is sweet. And that's all there is to it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you decide to make some taiyaki. Also try other things besides custard, like hot dogs and cheese, red bean, chocolate, Nutella, chocolate custard, and tons of other things. I've made the hot dog with cheese, and it's so good. Oh, and I think pepperoni and cheese would be so tasty too. It would be like taiyaki pizza pocket. If you guys try out this recipe, definitely comment down below, and even better, make a video and post it as a video response to this video. I would love to see how it turned out. Have an awesome day! Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out my other videos, and as always, if you're liking my videos, subscribing would be awesome.